This is what I would say in Greek for them. I worked just for a bit with prisoners. I have worked with people with mental disabilities, and having some patience for these people, like knowing how to interact, or also just being for such a long time in a foreign country, it's so different. Like,
During 6 years of formal existing of Smokinya Foundation, we've sent many people abroad for youth exchanges, training courses, long or short-term volunteering projects. We are an accredited organization who can send people from Bulgaria all over Europe for a youth exchange, for young people, and for training courses for people no matter their age. We already sent more than 450 people abroad for a youth exchange and training course, and also we sent a number of people for a European Solidarity Corps volunteering projects. The reason that we send people abroad is to make opportunities for these people to learn new and valuable skills, to get back to their country and to implement their skills in local community or even beyond their local community, with a vision of Smokinya Foundations for creating a world that works for everybody out of love, care and cooperation. Having all this in mind, 6 months ago we sent my today's guest Kaloyan to Greece, and I would like to ask you, Kaloyan, to introduce yourself.
hello everybody, I'm Kaloyan, as you already understand, from the town of Sliven in Bulgaria, and I have been studying accounting. That's what I graduated, and since I couldn't get into university for the first year, I decided to go for a project long-term, European Solidarity Corps, through the organization Smokinya.
So can you tell me more, a bit more about your city?
Okay, my city is not even a city, it's a town, because it's just 60,000 people, so quite small. Almost everybody knows each other. If you don't know one guy, then the other guy that you know knows him. It's called the town of the 100 war leaders, town of the Blue Rocks. It has many names, and we're famous for good and bad stuff. We're 100 kilometers far from Black Sea. We have the mountain, and it's a pretty fabulous historical place.
I think recently you also got a bike park there.
A bike park?
In Sliven, yeah.
Oh.
Maybe you were not in the country, maybe you were in Greece when it happened.
Exactly, I think I saw it, but I'm kind of new there now. So.
Okay, so how did you in fact discover this opportunity to volunteer in Greece, and how did this all start, and what was the actual project about?
Well, I was really bored in my hometown during the winter, when maybe on the 20th of December, somewhere around, I was scrolling through Facebook looking through projects. I had already applied for 2 others, which I couldn't get on, and I saw this one, which was in Athens, Greece, the capital of the country. I decided to apply, and magically I got approved. And the organization which is hosting, it's called Eosis, which in Greek means healing. And practically part of the thing that they do is they actually help, like they make a holistic system for helping people with mental issues, so to say, psychological problems, different illnesses or states of mind. And they have the so-called boarding houses, 2 of them. They are both in the capital, and they host people who are younger or older, but they have some kind of a problem that could be treated with consistent psychological help. So they have medical staff, they also have psychologists, and they have also volunteers who do all kinds of stuff. But specifically me, I was in another part of the organization, because it's a really big one. Like I think they have more than 200 people working in there, if I'm not wrong. And besides, they have one thing called Connect Your City, or intervention in the community, where they were giving food to the people who need it. Like they collected from the food markets the leftovers, the food that it's in the end of the day has not been sold. And the third department in which I myself worked was Public Republic, which I'm wearing the uniform right now. I was using during the 6 months. And the idea practically of my job was that we collect clothes, which are second-hand, so they have been already used probably, or just bought and not used. And we make a selection. Some of these clothes go to literally recycling, some of them go to the so-called upcycling. But the most important part is the ones that are wearable, that they go to the people who need them. So this could be in orphanages, to the children without parents. This is in the prisons, to homeless people, to drug addicts who are trying to heal themselves from their addiction, or just any other vulnerable group practically.
Okay, so you had a lot of things to do. You were quite busy during the past 6 months. And what did you learn in these 6 months? What did you take for yourself? You gave a lot of work for others, but what did you learn for yourself?
Yeah, there has been too many things actually, but for me, of course, the most important one is that I got to speak the Greek language, not as a local, but on a sufficient level, which for me is quite an achievement. And then a lot of skills. It's just the fact that we were working with clothing. This is what I really liked in the beginning when I heard about this Fabric Republic thing, is that I learned how to know if a clothing is male or female, if it's for children, for what age, to determine, to know the different materials, to be able to put the clothes in order, to make categories, to package them using the vacuuming machines, writing tickets, like presenting a product, and also washing clothes, like all of the special things that you can know about the washing machine, because you would say that it's a simple thing that you use every day, but actually you know nothing about it. If you haven't searched through it, has many functions that we don't know. Also the drying machine and many other special things that I wouldn't even imagine. Like I was driving a van just a bit. I had a lot of meetings with local people, so I could also make my presentation skills better. And it has been too much things, like I cannot even count all of them.
Okay, so you would say that the learning during these 6 months was a success?
Indeed, yes, it was pretty much great. Like for me, the best thing is to imagine to how many people we helped, because we literally gave them the clothes that they wear. So this is the big deal. Like everything else aside, I don't know if it's hundreds or thousands of people, because we gave tons of clothes. Like you can check their website, Fabric Republic GR, and there is data for how many people receive clothes, how many kilograms, tons they are, how much carbon dioxide was saved. And this is a huge impact on the society of Greece, and especially Athens.
Okay, so learning much, helping much, doing much for others, for yourself, learning language also, it's all experience, but in my opinion, every experience comes with obstacles. So what was the biggest challenge during the course of these 6 months for you?
Oh well, yes, when my roommates watched this video, I guess they would suppose what I would say the hardest thing was living with 10 people in one place. Like I was mentally prepared, or at least I tried to be, but yeah, this was the biggest challenge, is just to cope with everybody's culture and character, because we were from 7 different countries, so we had 3 guys from the same country. And it was really epic. Like we had a good time, but also it was rough, let's just say.
Yeah. So you would point out this as a challenge number 1.
Yeah, the biggest difficulty was getting on in the house. Like the work was really, even if you get tired physically, it doesn't make you, you know, depressed or something like this. Like it doesn't squish you. It's just work, you know, that it's gonna finish. But when you come back home and
it's never ending.
Yeah, something. So yeah.
Okay, but also with challenges, and when you mix challenges, difficulties and learning, in the end I guess you'll get something useful from everything that you said, from everything that you think about in your head about this year. What is a useful takeaway from Greece?
Well, except for the language, which is really my favorite, I guess the skills that I said, like about dealing with the clothes, because it's very important to me as a man who doesn't know how to dress well. And also the fact that I was working also with vulnerable groups. Like I entered prisons. Like I worked just for a bit with prisoners. I have worked with people with mental disabilities, and having some patience for these people, like knowing how to interact, or also just being for such a long time in a foreign country, it's so different. Like, so the state of mind that you need to hold yourself and to know that someday you come back to your hometown, but now you need to be glad where you are and just enjoy and try to make the best out of it.
So being present in the moment, if I
Yeah,
understand
pretty
correctly.
much.
Yeah. And after all this said and done, what will stay with Kaloyan after this experience?
Well, that's a hard question to answer, but could you specify, like?
What do you think will leave a mark on your future professional and personal life, having in mind experience from Greece?
Okay, well, I think that again I will repeat myself because it's really obvious the knowledge about clothing is just the ideas that I have in my head, because I saw a lot of things, I touched with my hands, so many clothing has been through me, and the work discipline also is very important. That this has been the longest time that I have been going every day on a place to apply labor, and the way of communication also, because I was picking up the phone, so I was like a telephone secretary as well, and this is something that like I opened myself a bit, so to say, like I got rid a bit of my shame, a bit of my fears, so I guess what will stay is more discipline, like being open to the society and accepting more and having these creative ideas about clothes, so to say.
Great. So, again, having all this in mind, if you meet your friends tomorrow, would you recommend this kind of European Solidarity Corps project to them, to your friends, to your family, to your colleagues, or something that you just randomly meet in the street?
Definitely, yes. What I would say though is that it's preferable to go on a short-term project first, especially for people who have been less on Erasmus or that kind of events, because I went for 6 months. I really wanted before, like for years, it was one of my dreams, so to say, to go on. It was called EVS before, now it's ESC. So I have seen it from a perspective of like a guest on these people. I saw how they work, how they live. It was really curious for me. So yeah, I would tell to my friends, and I do tell them, like, if you do such a thing, it's good to try like a 2-month project, for example. And then if you feel like you would like to try more and to take the bigger step, then you should definitely make a long-term one.
And if they ask you why, what would you say? What is the benefits for them in short words, simple words? What is their takeaway in general?
Well, okay, simply get out of your comfort zone. This is the cliche that we all know. You need to use a different language. This is also very important. You need to learn to do things yourself practically, because when you're outside and you cannot rely, like you don't have all of your friends, your relatives and the supportive systems, so you get to be more independent. You change the way that you think, you adapt yourself to a different culture, so you see your perspective changes, it gets wider and deeper, and no matter how I say it, it's just a lot of things in your mind is what changes. Like maybe when you come back in your hometown, you look the same perhaps, but the way that you feel about everything and the way that you see your home country after that is pretty much different, and it stays for life, I guess.
Okay. So, do you have anything else to add? If you do have, this is a proper moment for it.
Okay, well, I can say that Greece is pretty much a fun country. Like, there were a lot of confusing things to me, although they are supposed to be close in some aspects. To some things that we do in Bulgaria are the same, but others are completely different. But I liked it overall. And Athens also is a very beautiful city. I like it has the sea and the mountain all on the same distance. It has all the different people from wherever you want, from whatever background, and all of the activities there and everything that we did. Like, I would also like to thank now, I guess, is the moment, to everyone who was there, like the coordinators, the organizers, the sending on organizations, Smokinya, like my roommates, you know, the people with who I work with, the other volunteers, the Greek people with whom I interacted. So Ευχαριστώ πάρα πολύ. This is what I would say in Greek for them.
What does it mean?
Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you very much also for your time, for sharing your experience in Greece, and I wish you luck with the future Erasmus Plus projects and everything that you are planning to do.
Thank you as well.
Yeah.